All right. Well, speaking of knowing of things, hello, and welcome to the Rock and Roll Podcast. I am your host, John Harris, and today on the show we have Ignitor, and they have a new album called The Golden Age of a Black Magick, aptly spelled ICK, so they must be up to something. The record is now available via Metal on Metal Records. And right now I'm being joined by Jason in studio to share some more information about what the boys have been up to, what this record is about, what they've got coming down the pipeline. So, boys, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You are quite welcome. Now, this record was released, I believe, if I'm correct, on Halloween.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, my basic question is, was that always the plan, or did it just kind of happen that way? And where I'm going with this is because of the way this year has gone with COVID, a lot of bands have had to readjust their plan. So I guess take us through the production of this record. Is everything going to plan, or has COVID really thrown some things for a loop and you guys have just kind of rolled with the punches?
I kind of want Stuart, I want to not to just like say I don't want to answer it, but I want Stuart's input on this. I believe I'll just put my 2 cents and then let Stuart take it away as a ramble. August, I believe, was our original release date.
Yeah, because they wanted to get it out for the festival season in Europe, because I guess that's like one of their big ways that they push material, and they demanded it by at the beginning, like the 1st of April, and we're like, okay, because it was almost done. It was like we were down to just mastering.
That's right. It was April. They were trying to get it in early so they could get it to all the vendors.
Yeah.
For the
and so we finished it. We sent it to them, and then Italy closed. Like all of it. Like we kind of didn't hear from them for a couple of weeks, and we're like, are they still alive? And
yeah, apocalyptic shit.
It was weird.
Really what it was.
But they came back and they're like, yeah, everything's closed. The pressing plant's closed. Nothing's happening. And so at first they were just, we'll just wait and see. And then I guess things started to come back together. And then they came up with the heavy metal Halloween release.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, when you've got the golden age of black magic and Halloween, and it being the new year for witchcraft, Suon, Samhain, however it is that you want to say it, with the New Year's Day actually being, what is it, November 1st? Nobody does anything for that day. It's kind of sad, right?
Yeah.
Well, except for witchcraft, witch people, witches, witches, and. So it fits so well. I was curious, how that whole thing happened. But then you guys brought up a very interesting point that you guys were rushing to get everything done so that you guys could release it for the summer festival season in Europe, which is absolutely huge. And you guys would have had so much fun. I'd hate to rub in how much fun you guys would have had in Europe. But I mean, I guess what happened from then? Did you guys just kind of hang out, or did that give you some more time to focus on things that you wouldn't have had time to focus on because you would have been flying around?
Well, I mean, I started working on the video. Is the one of the things that did occur, and the first video, that is the title track, and so that gave me time to do that and drink a lot of beer while I was doing it. But yeah, it was just everything shut down. So that is one thing that we did get to do is work on these 2 videos.
Okay, now take us through this video, because it opens up with this creature walking, and is that somebody in a costume? Is that like really small scale? Who is this creature? Is this the black magic creature? What's going on, Stu? What's going on?
What happened with like when Jason first wrote the lyrics for that song, and he emailed them to me, and he said that it was a if I hope I'm not misquoting, but I thought a love letter to Satan, and me getting in that Satan was actually a representation of heavy metal, and also I guess his joy as a younger man when he was first getting into heavy metal. So and so I decided to make it into this character that was going to appear, throughout the video with Jason, make it a physical character as opposed to just sort of an idea, which I think is what Jason was more shooting for when he was writing the lyrics. Is that seem accurate, Jason?
Well, originally the lyric was even darker in a physical sense as well as a metaphysical sense, because of the things that dementia can do. And I lost my parents a couple of years ago, and it was a little bit of me experiencing that total bummer, family bummer of a loved one with dementia. But the idea of just being around that and learning about it was like, you're mixing old memories with fake memories. You've got all this confusion going on. So the fact that if at some, I don't know what cost it would be, but at some point you would be a happy person with some confusion, like you had all these, like when you're a child, you have this, invisible friends, this imaginary friends that you talk to and that you play with. But maybe if you're an only child or whatever, if you have imagination, right? And so imagine that your imaginary friend was this demon, and the demon might have been the devil, conjured, pink elephant, whatever it was, the person that's in the room that no one else can see that makes you happy. Well, if you act like that's a real person, sometimes they want to put you in the hospital and call you mental and feed you medications and things like that, to make this imaginary friend that makes you happy and makes you smile, that you look forward to talking to and hanging out with all day and playing with in the backyard or whatever it is, go away. The medication melts that person, that thing, that imaginary friend, makes them go away. So you're not happy anymore. You're actually depressed. So you start to fail and you start to become unhealthy and etc. In the way that dementia can basically murder you, and in all senses that along the way. So now to take it out of that serious moment and put it more into a fun thing is basically what Stuart has done with the idea of heavy metal being devil music and all of that bullshit. I feel like with all of the dark, scary that the lyric actually has to do with the physical, the metaphysical idea of all of this stuff, Stuart did an excellent bang-up job as basically translating in a way that I feel like is a fun way for people to hear and take the lyric even without it being as dark as it really is when I sing the song, right?
Well, that is dark. We've covered dementia, schizophrenia, and then depression, all within the span of a.
It tastes great together.
Yeah. So sorry to get personal there for a second, but I'm also not apologizing for how metal the fucking song is.
This is very true.
Yeah. The song is more metal. The video is this Stuart's translation, which really fits what I think fans might want to see when they think about what's going on when you're battling with people who don't understand your love or your friendship, I'll say, with heavy metal music. And I think that heavy metal fans are the best fans in the world because they're loyal.
Mm-hmm.
So when someone tries to take that away from a heavy metal fan, like, you come home and all your posters are in the fireplace half burned and your records are smashed And who are you looking to blame? Well, someone did it.
This is very true. Is this
Yeah.
also another personal story?
No, my family was very liberal and very open-minded. Had a great childhood. There's absolutely no darkness in my childhood, and my love for hard rock and heavy metal growing up. It was all positive. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, something that I wanted to bring up with both music videos, Stu, and I hope you take this as a compliment. I hope this is where you were going with the CG on this, but it reminds me of Duke Nukem.
I love that.
Yeah, I love Duke Nukem too. So that's good news. You know, I get the cop pigs and different things. But well, no, it's I actually I play a lot of first person shooters and stuff, and so I like video games, and I became interested in videography, and so I started making videos mostly in After Effects, but I tried to create 3D environments in After Effects, and then at some point I decided there's got to be a better way to do this because the 3D in After Effects has serious limitations. But so then I started working with game engines and started building environments in game engines. I think the first one we did was actually a video for a recording project I had with Robert for Texas Metal Outlaws. Or
Robert is our other guitarist, Robert Williams. Yeah,
Robert Williams. He's the riff master. He writes lots and lots of riffs. So many riffs that he has to have an outlet. Another band, but it does. It's just what he does is he gets different text or even other players to play on the record. But anyway, long story short, I started using the Hammer editor, which was Half-Life. With videos, and so I made environments in that, and then composited in live action. But now I use Unreal because it's so much easier and it's super user friendly.
Okay, I mean, what really got me, especially, was in the Tonight We Ride music video. You're just kind of like in this, I don't know, trashed out, almost somewhat apocalyptic world. Which definitely reminded me of Duke Nukem. I was like, hey, it's like I'm playing Duke Nukem. But with maybe even a better soundtrack.
You're not the only one. I haven't even alerted Stuart to this, but some of my friends who are, acting and helping write and put together, self-made movies and commercial ideas and funny YouTube shows and things like that. They saw these videos and were like, blown away and think Stewart should be. They were trying to give Stewart a Grammy. He doesn't even know this yet. But they were going, oh my God, can I have his phone number? And they were just really blown away. And they really liked the idea of the CG and the game engine and the whole, throwing a heavy metal band inside of Duke Nukem as to put it together with John's play and opinion here, which is spot on. I thought it was interesting that it made me think of these videos as heavy metal videos and not so much, oh, look, it's a heavy metal man stuck inside of a video game. It made me think of those Judas Priest Turbo Lover era videos on MTV. Remember those? They had kind of clunky demon guy, I think, walking around, and they had all the fake fire, and it looks a lot like that.
Yeah.
It's probably harder for them to do that. I guess it was just green screen, and then they were drawing cartoons on green screen or something, but it's sort of the same process, I guess, when Stuart works. We shoot, he shoots us, Stuart shoots us single. None of us are standing in the same room, so it's all green screen. Every time you see me, I'm by myself. I'm on a green screen the entire time, so I'm literally acting like there's a giant T-Rex coming after me. You know, like the actors in a movie, they're acting to nothing. They're having to react to nothing because they're standing in a green screen room, right? Very interesting. First, not the first time I've done green screen stuff, but probably the most worthy performances I've done, I'd say. Thank you, Stuart.
Oh, exactly. You're welcome. You did an excellent job.
Thank you. Well, thanks for storyboarding everything out, because it's kind of like he really had his shit together. Stuart did.
You have to when you're practicing, when you're a black magic practitioner, especially in the golden age. You have to.
Hey, oh, look at that.
Boom. Now, was this the plan already with the music videos, or was this more like, hey, it's COVID, things are locked down, we can't really be together in the same room, this makes it easier, or was this already the plan?
Oh, of being separate, like when they were shot? No, that's just the way all the videos that I've made so far. It's just easier when in compositing just to have everybody separate. And if somebody screws something up, it doesn't ruin the takes for the other people. I guess it was safer to shoot people separately, but I was not concerned about their safety. It's just concerned.
Of course not. Because you're metal.
That's right. Tonight we ride, baby.
Metal are mean people, right?
I'm willing to sacrifice them for metal.
It is in the work of Satan or something. Or
you use the word sacrifice appropriately.
To bring oneself closer to Satan.
Well, I like making videos this way. Not that I have any disdain or dislike from my bandmates, but I like making videos and shooting alone for all of the reasons Stuart sort of needs to do it that way or prefers it. I like this idea because you're not shooting a video. You're okay. You know, there's a count off and the song starts and you're basically acting or miming the song throughout its entire playback. And then take two and you do it again. If you do that 50 times, you're there for hours and you look like hell. You get tired. Your knees give out. You know, you start to... You spend more time fake singing one song than you do in a 2-hour set playing live. It's like more work to fake it than it is to do it for real. So I like this because all the shots are storyboarded out and you're not having to perform during the guitar solo, or you're not having to act cool during a part where you don't even need to be there because you're not even going to make the cut in the final product. So it just saves time. It's way more professional. I've made other videos similarly to this with other projects that don't have any CG or any Duke Nukem. And when it's done this way, even if it's all live action, it's the way to go. And the old days, they would just make you run it and run it and run it and run it. And a video shoot would take 3 days and you would spend stupid money on it. And now it's really cool. Thanks to Stuart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, well, boys, my only, I guess, last question then, since we haven't really touched on the whole album, the Golden Age of Black Magic, we got pretty deep into it, and that's the title track. So is that what this album is about? And I guess my broader question just is, when you guys sat down to put these 8 tracks together, what were you guys looking to create?
A kick-ass heavy metal record. There's not any. I mean, the Golden Age of Black Magic was a really awesome title that I had no idea what the lyric was going to contain. Where I maybe had an idea of, the idea of the imaginary friend in the room, or you're possessed by something and it's friendly to you, so you want to have it around all the time, no matter what anyone else thinks about you or your imaginary friend. You made fun of it your entire life. And then, the other 7 tunes were someone has a riff, or I have an idea, or I have a riff, or I have a lyric idea, and you just build off of that. I think there might have been only 2 out of the 8 tunes here where I was under pressure to come up with an idea or a lyric or whatever, but there were a couple of songs like, well, this isn't enough to make a record. Well, duh, it's going to be a short ass record with 6 or 7 songs on it. So if there's, they're writing riffs and they're sending them to me, I am under pressure to come up with, just to make the record lengthy. I think the last song, Stuart can help me with this. I think the last tune that was sort of the 11th hour where I literally had to, get it done so we could call it a full length, was maybe Stoned at the Acropolis. Is that correct?
I think so, yeah.
And that song is long. It's a little bit proggy. It's got like 8 parts in it or some shit. And I'm going on a huge journey about the not climbing on top of the, well, I'll tell the story if we have a moment, where I got the title, but the song ended up being literally about the thieves and the poor people and the downtrodden being stoned by the city because they were different or they didn't belong. They couldn't hang out with the cool kids, so they were literally stoned to death. And that's kind of very metal, and how humans sometimes are savages and they're thinking of themselves and, hey, we're cool and you're not, so we're going to make fun of you and kill you and throw you in prison and stone you to death and fun things like that. Mm-hmm. But the title, I had a coworker who was quite a bit older than me, who was in the service, who was in the Army. And he was stationed in Italy. And he told me a story about he and his buddy climbing to the top of the Acropolis to smoke a joint. So I turned to him and I said, so you were literally stoned at the Acropolis? And he's like, yeah. And I was, that's so metal, but you're such a 60s hippie. I wrote that title down, and I have to confess here, that was probably 20 years ago. I had that title for 20 years, and I finally got to use it.
Finally found the right moment
to
unleash it.
Yeah.
Okay, you heard it right here, right now on the Rock Metal Podcast, everybody. Well, boys, I believe that concludes all my questions. We chatted about the Golden Age of Black Magick, the track, the music video. Tonight we ride the music video. Album, The Golden Age of Black Magick. We chatted about how this year has gone for you guys. Is there anything that I missed that you guys wanted to chat about? You're like, man, I really hope John asks this question, and then I didn't.
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color is technically indigo blue.
Oh,
wow, that's bright. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, Tonight We Ride, does that sound like another band to you? Do you when you listen to Tonight We Ride, does it sound like an old like rock band, heavy metal band by any way? Is there a style you think that song fits in?
Yeah, I would say
honest opinion. What is it?
Yeah, no, I would say like a 70s heavy metal band like Deep Purple or going into maybe Motorhead or Judas Priest, like something where you end up on a motorcycle kind of thing. In leather, clad in leather on a motorcycle.
The working title for that song, Stuart, you can confirm this, what I believe it was called Butt Rocker.
Here we go.
Yeah.
The working title of that song was Butt Rockers, because when you think about the doo doo da doo 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 da doo 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 da, that could be Jesse's Girl turning into Sammy Hagar or something. It's not very metal. It's the Butt Rocker. I didn't give it that working title. It was Robert, I believe.
Yeah, well, Robert he wrote a lot, like probably about 75% of the general riffs on this record, and so he's kind of was like a fountain of riffs, and so the rest of the band, we would jam on the songs, and then once a few riffs stuck together, we had to call it something, just so that we could remember, oh, we want to work on that song. And then Robert was like, yeah, let's do the Butt Rocker song.
I think it was aptly titled because of the vibe that it was. But to me, when I walk into rehearsal late, as lead singers do, and they're playing this tune that they're calling Butt Rocker as a working title, and me knowing, of course, well, certainly they don't want me to write a lyric called Butt Rocker.
It wouldn't fit with Black Magic.
Right. Black Magic Butt Rocker.
Yeah. Well, you changed it to Golden Age of Butt Magic, and
wow,
whole different angle
with your imaginary friend. This is getting deep, guys.
Yeah. So I commented, I was like, wow, that's coming along, and it's different to the other songs on this record, but not different to something that Ignitor has done on other records, right? We've always had some kind of hard rock thing with maybe a thrash part in the middle, which is exactly like Tonight We Ride, which that's basically the format of the song. But I said out loud, this sounds like old Scorpions. This sounds like Love Drive era Scorpions. And I started mimicking Klaus Mein's vocal from back then. And of course, it fit perfect. So they sent me a demo version of the song. And I started to basically try to conjure up anything that Klaus Mein or a Scorpions melody would do on a song. And I was trying really hard to get Tonight We Ride to sound like the Scorpions. Now, people who might listen to this interview here and hear me say that, it might dawn on them now, or maybe it doesn't sound like Scorpions to them, but that means I have failed, because I was really trying to get it to sound like a Scorpion song.
Well, if you don't feel the burn from Ignitor, now you can feel the sting from the Scorps. So
hey, good job. No wonder you have your own show, bro.
Well, I mean, the funny thing is, as I'm looking at the track titles for the record, Tonight We Ride stands out because everything else seems so, I don't know, Black Magic orientated, and then you get into Tonight We Ride, and I don't know, are the witches now on brooms? Are they going out for the night? Like, what's happening in the course of this record? But well, I like it, but I also like Butt Rock. I'm a huge fan. Like, Dokken is one of my favorite bands.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we like Kiss and Van Halen and AC/DC, which is, that fits in butt rock categories. But the, Scorpions are butt rock, and all metalheads love Scorpions. And yeah. And I feel like something you just said is interesting, that you feel like maybe just at a glance, I won't hold you to it, specifics, that the other titles are more metal. The other titles are just more metal sounding, and Tonight We Ride sounds like, Sammy Hagar or something, or Let's Go Party, dude, woo, like Dazed and Confused attitude or something.
Well, Execution Without Trial. I mean, how do you
That's
follow
metal.
that up with Tonight We Ride?
Well, you don't. So there's all of these different sort of faces on the record. I just think that the Golden Age of Black Magic is the most awesome title on there. I mean, the last record had a song called, or maybe it was a record before, Who's Counting, was the most metal title up to that, but I think I've beat it with Golden Age of Black Magic, and that title was Throw Them from the Cliff. So that's,
and then you go ride.
Metal. Yeah, it's pretty metal.
And then you go ride.
Yeah, Tonight We Ride in celebration of the king thinking that you are worth nothing, so he throws you off the cliff, right?
Mm-hmm. With the secrets of the ram in between your ears.
Wow, yeah, well, it's not Dodge Ram.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. But I think that you're right. I think that you're right in bringing up that most of the titles just go, wow, that's metal. Well, that's metal. Tonight We Ride, what's that about?
Yeah. So now we know.
Yeah.
Spaceships.
Yeah, it's about spaceship and a bunch of guys going on a trip into space, and taking a joyride. In the future, maybe that can really happen. We're just going to go to Mars for the weekend. So I'll see you Monday morning.
Man, I think we can thank SpaceX for the future in that.
It's going to happen, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, boys, unless there's anything else that you wanted to bring up, I just wanted to thank you for coming on to the Rock Metal Podcast today.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Appreciate it.